Greetings, fellow Slayers. Well, look at Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 4, now continues on with The Eye and Team. Willow, Anya, and Xander play poker and discuss Xander's plans to start selling boost bars. They question the intentions of Riley and the initiative. Buffy impresses Professor Walsh as she quickly passes a test for strengths and fighting talents. Buffy talks about her night, but Willow's quiet evening spent with friends doesn't seem to compare. The Scuba Gang has plans to meet. Scuba Gang has plans that night to meet at the Bronze. Giles visits Spike at his new crib to give Spike the money he's owed for helping him when he was transformed into a viral demon. Spike tries to make it clear that he has no interest in helping them anymore. Riley takes Buffy into the initiative, which she is incredibly impressed to see. Led by Professor Walsh, Buffy is given the tour of the facility, and then is basically made a member of their team. Tara tries to give a dolls like Crystal to Willow, but Willow doesn't want to accept, because it's Tara's family heirloom. Tara asks if they can perform some spells at night, but Willow has to turn her down due to her plans for theirs at the Bronze, and also plans to take Tara where that she might feel out of place. Trying hard or hurt, Tara hurries away to class. Professor Walsh enters the secure labs in the room 314. After exchanging words with her colleague, Dr. Engelman, Professor Walsh checks up on her special project, a part demon, part human creature named Adam. Buffy's an hour late meeting her friends, and when she does show, she brings Riley and other initiative members. Willow's upset, saying that she could have invited someone to come as well if she'd known it was an open gathering. When Buffy asks who she wanted to invite, Willow pretends it was hypothetical and doesn't mention Tara. Willow questions how much trust Buffy should put in the initiative, reminding her 314 and that they don't know the organization's ultimate agenda, only for Buffy to rush off with Riley and friends when all of their pagers go off. After being abandoned by Buffy, Willow goes to Tara's dorm room. At a briefing, Professor Walsh and Dr. Engelman explained they're tracking a Bulgara demon and wanted bringing in with its arms undamaged. Walsh doesn't know when Buffy asks questions during the briefing and refuses to wear camouflage. Forrest also finds himself developing a dislike of Buffy's presence in the initiative as she takes his spot on Riley's team despite him being placed in charge of his own squad. Forrest spots Hostile 17, Spike, and sends his team after the vampire. As Spike is running away, they shoot him with a tracer so that they'll be able to keep track of his location. The demon attacks. Buffy and Riley team up and fight it together. Afterward, they go to Riley's dorm room and have sex. Professor Walsh watches from a secret camera hidden in Riley's room. Ow. Desperate, Spike goes to Giles for help and is forced to give up the last of Giles' money in exchange for that help. Next morning, Buffy's surprised to see Riley still in bed by her side when she wakes. They talk. When Buffy asks about 314, Riley gets a call from Professor Walsh requesting his help. Walsh talks to Dr. Engelman and said that Buffy is becoming a liability to the initiative and a distraction for Riley. They decide to eliminate her immediately. Giles tries to remove the trace from Spike's shoulder, but it's difficult and they don't have much time. Buffy gets back to her dorm room to find that Willow also stayed out all night. A few seconds later, Willow returns, now carrying the crystal she had previously refused to accept from Tara. Buffy is beat by the initiative and sent on a new mission to find a Class 3, not very dangerous creature and transmit a picture of it to Maggie Walsh. She's told it will be an easy mission. For a microphone and camera, complete with heart monitor, Buffy goes on the mission alone, but it turns out to be a trap set by Professor Walsh. Instead of being a small and non-dangerous demon, it turns out to be two large demons who are both armed, and who Buffy had previously seen imprisoned at the initiative. Steel doors slam shut, trapping Buffy in a small area of the sewers with the demons. She attempts to use the initiative weapon that Professor Walsh gave her, but it is defective and doesn't work. Meanwhile, Riley is kept out of the way by being sent out with a team to find and recover Hostile 17. Willow does a spell to mask the tracer signal from the initiative to buy them time, and Spike passed out from drinking. Giles continues his attempts to get the tracer out of the vampire's shoulder. It's finally removed and flushed down the toilet just in time to save Spike from Riley and his team. Buffy fights with the two demons, while Professor Walsh watches the screen of the initiative that's hooked up to the feeds from Buffy's monitor and camera. Buffy fights with the heart monitor and loses her heartbeat when she drops it to the ground. When Riley returns from his mission, Professor Walsh informs him that Buffy is dead and makes her start about Buffy going on her own to attack some demons, despite protests from Maggie. At that point, having killed the two demons, Buffy comes onto the camera feed and informs Walsh that her attempts to kill her failed, promising to show her how powerful a Slayer really is. Riley sees this and then walks out on Walsh while she's pleading with him to come back. Buffy returns to Giles' place, now very upset the initiative cannot be trusted, and that it probably has it in for all the Scoobies in addition to herself. An agitated Walsh goes into room 314, where there is the Frankenstein-like creature. She unleashes him and starts talking about what she's going to do with Buffy. An over-the Bulgarian Buffy and Riley were sent to capture has been attached to him. The initiative has not only been running tests, using various body parts from demons to build Adam. When Adam wakes, he spears Professor Walsh with a skewer from the Bulgar arm, speaking one word: Mommy. Dun dun dun. So now let's take a look at some continuity surrounding this episode. As promised, Giles pays Spike for his help in A New Man. Later, when Spike asks for his help, Giles finds out that Spike didn't help him out of the evilness of his heart, which is exactly what Spike said when Giles asked for his help. Buffy says about the pager Professor Walsh gave her, "I've been thinking about getting one of these. She had one to never kill a boy on the first date." Little Girl's Ethan Rayne's warning about the number 314. One of the arc themes of Season 4, Buffy's friends feeling alienated from her role as a Slayer, is when Will feels left unhesitant about Buffy joining the initiative. In the previous episode, it was Giles who felt left out of Buffy's life and duties. These themes culminated in assault by Primeval. It is in this episode that Willow and Tara's relationship takes a romantic turn, although no romantic affection is explicitly shown. It can be inferred from the quality of the interactions. This will be first mentioned in New Moon Rising. Riley tells Buffy, "I know she likes you. In fact, she liked you before I did. Told me so herself." After Buffy stood up to Professor Walsh in the initiative, Walsh told Riley that she liked Buffy before he figured out that he had feelings for her. The fact that Buffy immediately has sex after a tense fight with the Bulgara demon seems to prove Faith's theory that slaying makes one hungry and horny, as stated in Faith, Hope, and Trick. However, Buffy didn't actually kill the demon, but this notion does seem to have some substance since Faith did have sex with Xander the Zippo after he saved her from a demon. The scene in which Buffy wakes up on Riley's bed after sleeping with him is a parallel or contrast to the episode in which Buffy sleeps with Angel and with Parker. Each scene is similar in its portrayal of Buffy awakening, but this is the only one in which Buffy wakes up and the man is still next to her. Buffy appears moderately surprised that this is the case. This episode marks the first appearance of Adam, who will become the season's big bad, to be defeated in Primeval. Professor Walsh becomes one or more of Buffy's teachers to be killed, after Stephen Gregory, the She-Mantis, and Jennifer Callender. So anyway, let's take a look at some production notes from this episode. The brand of energy bars Boost is the name of an actual bar in real life, though it does not include the features Xander describes for the product seen in the episode. About Maggie Walsh's departure and the reveal of the season's big bad, producer Doug Petrie said, quote, "It's very much a Frankenstein story where someone creates a monster and then the monster is out of their control. That's what this was. We knew at the beginning that Maggie Walsh was going to be killed by her own creation. Then we got Lindsay Krause, the great Lindsay Krause. This is the episode where sadly she shines the most, and this is her best episode. As often happens, just when things really start cooking, they've got to go. She's one of the bigger names that we've got on the show, and we know that we had her for a limited time, so it was a practical consideration as well. It's very much in the vein of Frankenstein's monster, and we felt it essential that the first thing the monster would do is kill its creator. Take their baton as it were and give someone else the villain's mantle for season 4, end quote. It said that David Fury named 2 characters in this episode after regular posts at the Buffy.com posting board, the Bronze, Angel Man, and Bulgara. Bulgara was also the name of a character in David Eddings' book series, The Bulgariad and the Malorian, being the title character novel, Bulgara the Sorceress. Now let's take a look at some pop culture references. Spike refers to Willow as Teen Witch. Xander wears a shirt with the fictional superhero Captain America's shield. Buffy says, "Oh, you mean the camo stuff? I thought about it, but I'm just going to look up Private Benjamin," a reference to the 1980 Goldie Hawn movie. Buffy compares the initiative headquarters to the Grand Canyon. Buffy catches Riley eating a Twinkie snack cake for lunch. Willow mentions Demon and vampires working as bag boys at Walmart. Willow talks about seeing behavior modifications on animal shows on the Discovery Channel. While getting the trees removed from his bag, Spike first saw Rock the Kashba and the Juve's harp. And now finally, let's take a look at a goof. Spike's ship seems not to work temporarily, as he was able to toss one commando into a tree and throw a bag of groceries at another without reeling in pain. Oh, interesting. So overall, I think this episode is kind of interesting, and the fact that it introduces us to the big bad of the season is kind of interesting, so yeah. So overall, I give the Iron Team 4 vampire steaks out of 5. Anyway, tune in to wait till the next episode. Goodbye, Iowa. So, until then, here endeth the lesson.